But first, let's circle back and get started with NFL free agent frenzy. So, as soon as we log off, basically, Cincinnati announced they were going to cut Joe Mixon, and then they decide, no, you know what, we're going to actually trade him instead to Houston, and then they replace him with Zach Moss. So, downgrade there. Um,
I mean, he had a good season. Zach Moss started
Yeah, no, he
off,
he
and then he
performed
lost his job again.
he performed admirably as the backup replacement for when Jonathan Taylor was out. There's no question about that. But Joe Mixon, I think even if he is losing it, he's still better than Zach Moss ever was at his best, in
I
my
would
opinion.
also argue that Cincinnati, their offense obviously doesn't run around a running back. So to cut the cost there and get a running back that really isn't a featured piece of their offense, I think that was a good move by Cincinnati.
Well,
Since
yeah, I mean, it was just a lost season in general because Joe
yeah,
Burrow went down. So it is definitely a cost saving move. Uh, So yeah, there we are. Good luck with that. They'll rue that day. Quarterback
Ty
Tyrod
God
Taylor,
Taylor.
the Ty God, going to the Jets. He didn't go back to the Jets. He's just for the first time, but he's played in a lot of other places. So forgive my confusion. Sam Darnold, former Niners backup quarterback, he's going to Minnesota to try to be the guy for on a 1 year contract on a prove it deal.
I know this is down at the bottom of your list here. I assume
Mhm.
it's down at the bottom of your list, but you might as well just say the quarterback in Vincent in Minnesota. Where did he end up?
Oh, Josh Dobbs. He had a what do they call it,
The carousel of quarterbacking jobs.
no, like he was really hot for like a minute.
Yeah,
um uh uh
a flash
uh
in the pan.
no, specific player on the Knicks. He was a former Warrior too.
Oh, you're
The
talking about Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy, yeah, the insanity moment, that's what it
Yeah.
is. He had a insanity moment. But yeah, just so Josh Dobbs is going to try to be the backup quarterback for the Niners. He'll be fighting with Brandon Allen over that, I believe.
How
So
crazy. He started in like I want to say he started in like Tennessee or something like that last year, and then he got traded to Arizona.
yeah, Arizona to start, and then he became the starter immediately. Then they shipped his ass off to Minnesota. Um, yeah,
Oh
just
man.
really weird story arc last season for Josh Dobbs. But he's a guy like, I think he might be better when he's off script, when he doesn't know what he's doing because nobody else knows what they're doing either, and he just makes shit up. And yeah,
Hey man.
we'll see how it goes. Aaron Jones was a running back for the Green Bay Packers. Now goes to the enemy, Minnesota. All right.
Let's see if that hamstring can last.
Yeah. Is he washed or not? That's what a lot of the questions are for a lot of these players for this week.
Yep.
Um, Mike Gesicki, tight end, goes to Cincinnati. Try to bolster them up a little bit as a fifth wide receiver option, I think. Running back Naeem Hines to Cleveland. That's a backup role there. Just little extra, whatever. Jameis Winston, he's gonna be the backup in Cleveland for at least next year. 8.7 million to do it. Not bad.
Hey, not
Mark
bad.
Marcus Mariota going to Washington. We'll see what they do in the draft because they just traded Sam Howell to Seattle to be the backup for Geno Smith. So
Which is weird in its own right, just to say that he is the starting quarterback. He was supposed to be a starting quarterback, Geno Smith, and then his career has gone in totally different directions.
right, yeah, and but then he won the job in
Yeah.
Seattle and played admirably
Yeah.
that first year, but then last year in his second year there, it just kind of fell apart a little bit.
Yep.
Derrick Henry, here's a big one, to Baltimore on a 2 year contract,
That's
16 million.
huge. That's a
That's
huge pickup for
yeah,
them.
that's going to be uh, that's going to be a running machine, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
And they got that kid that tore his ACL or something like that, or the I forget
uh,
his
the,
name, but they have another running back that's a freak of nature. If he can come back halfway through the season and
yeah,
you just
yeah,
have that
just
as your 1-2,
change of pace or whatever. For
yeah.
yeah, real thunder and lightning here.
Yep.
Irv Smith, tight end, is going to Kansas City to be the third string tight end because they have Gray and they still have Kelsey. I mean,
Yep.
whatever. Irv Smith still hanging around at least a little bit. Darnell Mooney going to Atlanta, wide receiver. He's going to be helping out Kirk Cousins down there. I'm sure he'll have a couple of fantasy valuable weeks and then just really piss everybody off.
Yep.
Drew Lock, quarterback, going to the Giants. He might end up being the starter because Danny Dimes is garbage.
I think, look, I agree that he will probably become the starter, but the amount of money you're paying Daniel Jones, you have to give him another crack. Even
Oh
if,
yeah, no,
even
no,
how outrageous it sounds, you
yeah,
have
no.
to.
I agree on that principle. Like you got to make absolutely sure to just get every ounce of meat off of that bone.
Yeah.
And you were handed one tiny little chicken wing with Daniel Jones, so take it
Yeah.
clean, bud,
Yep.
and then move on to another quarterback who is irresponsible as fuck. Gerald Everett going to Chicago. So, more tight end help there. Cool. Las Vegas cut Jimmy Garoppolo. He signs with the Rams. He's going to miss those first couple of games, but Matt Stafford is the starting quarterback there, so he's going to be the backup.
Do you think, okay, and I know Sam's not here to comment on it. Do you think that there's a conspiracy theory running that the Raiders planted some kind of drug on Jimmy G so they didn't have to pay him because they knew they were going to cut him?
I do not believe that conspiracy theory.
It was a little
But
weird that they
it's fun.
suspended him and
Yeah,
then an
yeah.
hour later like, "Oh, we can cut him."
Yeah. I'm sure. Conspiracy theories are always fun up until a point.
Yeah.
When it hits that anti-Semitic bridge or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they're fun to a point, but when it gets to that point, it's like, okay, let's back up a little bit. Not good. There's enough bad shit in the world happening. We don't need to add to that part of it. But
Yes. Yes.
conspiracy. I wouldn't say conspiracy on that one. I don't believe that. I'm not on board. Long story short. Okay, here's one for your guys. Devontae
Yes.
Parker, wide receiver, going to be a backup wide receiver in Philly. What do you
Love it.
think about that?
I love it. You know why? Because I mean, if Devontae can stay healthy, I know he had a couple concussions in New England last year. As long as he can stay healthy, him and Smith, hell, even AJ Brown, they can all switch in the slot position, and I think there's just a lot of moving pieces that you can do with that, and I think he's a great wide receiver 3 for this team.
Oh yeah, yeah. Devontae Parker, he actually finally. It took 5 years, but in his last year in Miami, he actually finally like exploded and showed up,
Yeah,
so he does have the ability in there. So if he's your three, and he just shows up every now and then and just really just goes off, that's going to be really beneficial to Philly.
the running gag in the Philly chats is that we need to complete the trifecta and go get Devonte Adams. So you have Devonte Smith, Devonte Parker, and Devonte Adams.
Right, yeah. It's Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
All right. So the Niners shoring up the defensive line after Eric Armstead left. He's Jordan Elliott, defensive tackle, is coming to the Niners on a 2-year deal. It's defensive depth. I like it. You can never have too many of those guys.
I
Especially,
agree,
yeah.
but your boys need to really fill out that O line depth.
Yeah, no, I think O line is a bigger problem, but
Yeah,
you lose Eric
I
Armstead,
agree
you got
with
to
you.
replace him. So
Yeah,
Pittsburgh traded wide receiver Deontay Johnson to Carolina. Um,
I think this was a performance trade because he kind of gave up halfway through the season last year. He had those videos of him not blocking and he just literally sidestepping like he's olaying a bull.
yeah.
I
So
think it was a qual of a performance issue.
right. An attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Hunter Renfro, Raiders are cutting him. That's
He's
not
gonna cost too much, but I kind of wanted the Eagles to try and see if they can swing and get him, but he's gonna cost too much. I think he's gonna make either the Patriots very happy or maybe Miami. One of those two.
yeah. Okay, so back to the Niners. They Malik Collins gets traded from Houston to the Niners, and the Niners also restructured contracts with Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle, and Javon Hargrave. So the Niners made a few moves there, helped save a lot of money, and they're gonna try to maximize this window with Brock still on the rookie contract.
What's this that the 49ers didn't do the commas on their
Oh
reporting
yeah,
sheets.
there was an accounting error, and this actually broke just a couple hours ago before we started recording on Monday afternoon. And so they're losing a 5th round pick in 2025, and their 4th round pick
So
this
4
year
picks down, I think, right?
is being bumped down to the like 4 spots. And there was no like they didn't find that they were trying to like skirt the salary cap or anything. It was just like a mistake, but you still have to punish the mistake, and so fine,
Yep.
whatever. I'm
Somebody's getting a new
Yeah,
accountant, or
I
the
mean,
accountant's getting a new assistant.
yeah, a fifth losing a 5th rounder next season, fine, whatever. I don't,
Sure.
you know, it is a lottery at that point anyway. George Kittle was a 5th rounder, but there are plenty other 5th rounders that bust. So, whatever. Let's see. The Chargers, yeah, they're cutting Mike Williams, wide receiver. So that's a talented but injured player that somebody else can pick up and be equally excited and frustrated.
Mention the other Chargers one. It's a 3 down or 3 or 4 down here.
Oh, okay.
Mention the
Oh
other
yeah,
one
and then
too.
they traded Keenan Allen to Chicago for a 4th round pick.
I'm very curious about what Harbaugh's doing. I mean,
It's a
I know he's
money.
cleaning house.
This is money. This is pure money issue. That's what it is. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams were making way too much of it, and they need to get under the cap because they got to pay their quarterback, and they're deciding to not they're deciding to keep the defense intact as much as possible, and they're hoping that Justin Herbert can overcome the wide receiver. And I mean, I think
at
he's
least
good.
give him one talent.
Yeah, he's good, but they need somebody else, so they're probably going to pick somebody up in the draft.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be drafted. But I mean, they're obviously gonna have to restructure Herbert's contract if they want to try and bring in more talent offensively. I see that happening within the next year or two. They have to. So interesting. Edmonds Harbaugh's team. He's gonna break it down Michigan style and build it back up. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's right. Calvin Ridley, wide receiver, is going to Tennessee. 4-year, $92 million. I mean,
hey, he got his money. He got his
money. That's great, but they could have
way
had
overpaid.
AJ Brown. They drafted AJ Brown. They could have paid him that money.
AJ Brown would have cost them
better.
AJ Brown would have cost them $90 million.
Yeah, 90 for 4.
And they paid $2 million over, but
yeah, and Calvin Ridley's like 4 years older than AJ Brown too. So like real just top notch.
You know what I say to that? You know what I say to that, Vince? I go, thank you, Howie Roseman.
Fucking idiots, man. All right. Tennessee also signed Mason Rudolph to be the backup quarterback.
Does Tennessee are they playing
they're going with bananas. Yeah, they're going with banners.
Yeah.
Will Levis.
Mayonnaise Levis.
Joe Flacco's going to be the backup in Indianapolis. That's a good move. He's
like that.
Anthony Richardson is he's a running quarterback, and he got injured like on like a running play or whatever. And if he doesn't learn how to pass, he's gonna end up injured again. So Flacco's gonna get an opportunity, I think, at some point to play next year.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that comeback player of the year magic can happen again.
Yep.
All right. Oh, here's that Sam Howell note. Traded from Washington to Seattle because they gave up on him. Rightfully so, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he still beat the Eagles.
Yeah. Curtis Samuel is going to Buffalo. He's going to replace Gabe Davis. I think that's Curtis Samuel's a little bit more consistent, but he doesn't have the ceiling that Gabe Davis does.
Yeah. I'd say
Gabe Davis is very much peaks and valleys. Like that is,
yeah.
If you have him on your fantasy team, that is frustrating because you can never pick when that 40-point game is going to happen, and it's only going to happen twice. But when it does, that is magic.
Diggs gave up. Well, he didn't give up me, but fantasy wise, he gave up me towards the end there too. So that whole Buffalo offense.
I survived having Diggs on my roster. I got a chip with him scoring only 5 points in my starting lineup. Because you can't bench him as much as you have to. You can't bench him because he could go off. Anyway,
yeah,
this isn't a fantasy football podcast, but moving on. So, like
unless
I said
you guys
earlier,
want to listen to that.
I mean, Yeah, let us know in the comments. Email us svtsportspod at gmail.
There's a shout out.
There we go. Like I said earlier, the Niners let Eric Armstead walk. He goes walking all the way to Jacksonville. Good for him. Get your bag. He's worth it. He's great dude. I'm gonna miss him. Atlanta trades Desmond Ritter to Arizona for Rondale Moore. Those are two guys getting fresh starts.
I just found out Rondale Moore, like when this happened. Did you know he's like 5'7"?
No, I didn't know that. I knew he was shorter. I didn't know the exact height.
I didn't know that at all. I was like, damn, he's a wide receiver in the NFL and he's 5'7".
Good for him.
Yeah, man.
I remember Napoleon Kaufman was like 5'5" or something like that. 5'8", really. But like, you know, that's every now and then short kings make it in the NFL.
You know, I mean, fuck Altuve, but he made it.
Yeah. That's also baseball, different
But
sport.
right,
entirely.
but
But
5'6",
yeah.
5'5".
Yeah, David Eckstein. Yeah,
Yeah,
there
there
we
you
go.
go.
That was a dude for a while. Okay. Linebacker Bobby Wagner going to Washington. Get that money.
That's their best move, honestly. Washington's been doing some dog shit moves. Yeah. That's their best move. He's like, what's Bobby Wagner, 33, 34, somewhere around there. So
yeah, I mean, he's past his prime, but at least he's a great voice in the locker room for them to help guide the new people along and try to establish a culture and whatever other bullshit saying you want to throw in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Niners had agreed to terms with linebacker Eric Hendricks, and then Eric Hendricks changes his mind and he wants to be a loser and go to Dallas. You know what? That's fine. Have at it, buddy. Enjoy losing in the playoffs. Enjoy losing in the first round to the Niners because it's going to happen again, or to the Eagles. Coming up. It's going to happen. I don't know who, but Dallas is never going to do shit. And I'm 30 for 30 on that so far.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Have fun, bud. Good luck. So Danielle Hunter, that was a big name that we were waiting on last episode. It finally happened. He goes to Houston. 2 years, $49 million. Yeah, that's huge.
Dude, Houston is like they're stacked.
They are ramping up. The time is now for Houston. If that could be real fun to see, when it comes time for predictions in early September. That's a team that's going to be on everybody's mind.
I would say, I mean, the Eagles coaching tree from last year or 2 years ago. Now it's 2 years. It's going to be 2 years ago. And the 49ers coaching tree from like 2 years ago. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that, your the head coach for Houston and the head coach for Indy, I mean, just amazing. Yeah. Both of them. Amazing. With what they've been dealt with. You know what I mean? It's great. Yeah. Love it. I love to see it.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Patrick Queen, linebacker, goes from Baltimore to Pittsburgh. That's another rivalry move.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a 3-year deal he signed with Pittsburgh too. Wow. There's going to be a lot of vitriol when he comes back to town, I think, on that one. And then here we go. We were waiting for KC to sign anybody to help the wide receiver room out. They get Marquise Hollywood Brown. So you heard, I don't know if people listening haven't heard this, but Saquon Barkley, when he signed with the Eagles, Tiki Barber came out and said that congratulations, you're dead to me, but good luck, but you're dead to me, right? so when Hollywood Brown gets signed by Kansas City, their Arizona's quarterback, Mama John, like Kyler Murray, right? Kyler Murray, yeah.
He tweets out to Holly Brown. He goes, "Congratulations, you're dead to me." So Tiki Barber is a very salty New York fan at this point. So a lot of people are giving him flack for saying what he said to Saquon. So, anyways, hit me with this bombshell.
Yeah,
I have something for this.
Yeah, you have a backup quarterback now, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah,
small hands Pickett going to Philly. With a pick swap as well thrown in just to make it interesting.
So
go ahead.
Obviously, I wasn't a fan of this, and I'm not going to be shy about that. I thought we did the wrong thing because we traded a third for this, and I was like, "Why are we trading a third for this? Go trade for Fields, who it's next here." Chicago trades Fields to Pittsburgh. I think they traded a 6 and like a pack of crackers and some Band-Aids, right?
Yeah.
which I was like, that made me more upset, right? I was like, why didn't we just trade a fucking fifth to go get Fields, right? If that's what they were given. So I read into it more. It makes sense. Okay. Let's say Pickett decides to leave and go play for somewhere else. Then the Eagles get a third round pick back, a compensatory pick.
Compensatory pick, yeah.
So we get a compensatory third round pick back. Great. Awesome. Also, he's under control for 2 years, where Fields will be under control for 1 year. So, okay, cool. You get a backup quarterback, and Fields is a starter, right? Like Fields probably should go start. I think he should sit behind someone.
Well,
So I
he's going to
think
be sitting behind Russ,
right,
at least
exactly,
at first, until Russ is mid for like 5 games in a row to start the year,
exactly.
and then
So
everybody's going to be shouting for Justin Fields.
exactly, and I would say that Fields, I mean, Hurts was literally hurt for 2 games, right? Had the knee issue, played through it. So I think his toughness level to be able to play through injuries, his likelihood of playing Fields was probably less than it would be if he were to play behind Russell Wilson, who's an aging quarterback, right? And I just think the money wise, it makes more sense for what the Eagles did. So it makes sense. I'm 90% sold on the pick now, or the trade now, than I was like last week, but it's
Okay.
still Kenny Pickett, boys. It's Kenny Pickett.
Right. Yeah.
And
Okay.
he's an Eagles fan, and he grew up in Philadelphia. So
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sure. Nothing like your family to boo you, you know?
exactly.
All right. So Chase Young is going to New Orleans. Um, that's fine. He didn't really perform all that well for the Niners when we traded for him. Those expectations kind of fell flat. Good luck. And then Alexander Madison to the Vegas Raiders. He was cut by the Vikings. Yeah.
I just think, I mean, I know the Raiders gave money to positions that, needed as well, but losing Josh Jacobs, they're going to see the impact of that this year. I promise you they will.
All right. And the last note I want to talk about is Aaron Donald is retiring after 10 years, a true GOAT. And he gave the Niners hell for 10 years.
I'm glad he was your problem and not mine.
I am not going to miss him at all. Hell of a career.
Yeah.
Enjoy retirement. And actually, I saw this. Matt Stafford's wife, like tweeted a congratulations or whatever.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, maybe I can convince Matt to join you. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Matt Stafford's definitely closer to retirement than not. You know, I mean, he's got maybe 2 years left. I think. Probably.
I think so.
Like,
I think so.
Like, definitely this coming season, maybe one more after. So like, it's getting near the end, I think, and so that makes the Jimmy Garoppolo thing a little bit more interesting too. Maybe if Sean McVay likes what he sees out of Jimmy, maybe Jimmy's the guy for Sean McVay after Matt Stafford leaves.
Yeah, I mean, probably not.
Know.
Probably not with Jimmy G, but
the bridge quarterback, you know.
Yeah, of course.
He's the bridge quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to be like playing quarterback for the next 8 years for the Rams or something, but like maybe they give him a 3-year deal or something after this.
You want to know something funny? I was going down this rabbit hole, and I want to say something about Aaron Donald too, but I was going down this rabbit hole of bridge quarterbacks, and the bridge quarterback between Michael Vick and Carson Wentz for the Eagles was Sam Bradford.
It was.
And I was like, wow, I forgot he was on that team.
Yeah.
So you mentioning Matt Stafford made me think about it because they were relatively around each other's draft times, relatively. So also too, Aaron Donald, he popped a champagne video of him celebrating his retirement.
Oh yeah.
Okay, everyone's saying congratulations, big dog, and all this. Right. Watch that video. He opens a bottle of champagne with his, 2 fingers on the cork. He moves the cork like he's taking a toothpick out of a container. Like most people, when you open a cork, it's like a pop, right? It pops in your hand. No, he just like that's oh, it was no noise, just him like
it might have been opened already. I don't know, man.
No, I know. He opened it, like twisted it. It was like him taking like a tissue out of a box. It was so effortless. I was like, dude, this guy, he's so insane.
That feels like it's against science. I don't know, man.
It's insane. Like it's the video you sent, actually. I think you sent that video for the very end, the last portion of it.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, if you go to the very last slide, he opens up this wine bottle like he's just nothing.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I mean,
effortless.
it was like like 10 page, like a 10 image or video Instagram story, right, or something
It
like
was
that.
crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah,
But congratulations, Aaron Donald. Hell of a
yeah,
career.
yeah.
So glad I don't have to deal with you.
As my dad said, enjoy retirement, Mr. Donald, sir.
Yeah.
Very respectful. As always.
Yep.
Yes, yeah. Put some respect on his motherfucking name.